Yeah, let's jump into the topic for today. We're doing a series of interviews with you, touching on different parts of the personal evolution formula. And today, the topic is integration. This might sound rather like a broad topic, but this, of course, is a specific topic relating to the coaching formula itself. So I'd just like to ask you, what does integration mean for the personal evolution program?
Yeah, I think it's good to understand two different things. Integration, of course, refers in one aspect to whether a person can integrate what they learn into their daily life, because otherwise you can teach someone a formula, you can explain them how they can use this formula to navigate and to make certain changes in their lives. But of course, the theory has to go hand in hand with the person being able to practically apply what they learn. So when we work with clients, there are always these two elements. We don't just help the client like in a therapeutical way, but we give them the method and we, in a way, teach them to apply it by themselves so that in time they have some sense of ownership and independence from the coach or the coaching. So they can do 1 or 2 rounds with us, and then they can potentially keep using the formula to keep navigating their own personal and professional evolution. And this is very crucial in our approach because we work towards that independence, a kind of a do-it-yourself approach. Other side of why integration or integrated approach is very important in this methodology is that when we work with clients, we don't only treat their personal issues or whatever is going on in the person, so their own personal evolution, what they feel challenged by. Issues can be in many different ways. It can be physical issues, health issues, life challenges in relationships, challenges at work, wanting to reach certain goals, people that are in a life transition. Lots of our clients are between 35 and 55. So that's really that age where you have already lived through a part of your life and you come to a point where you can reflect and you say, hey, do I want to continue this, or am I really reaching the level of life that I worked so hard for? Is there still certain things missing? And sometimes people really deal with deep issues that are holding them back, or whatever surfaces in that transitional phase in people's life. So we do work with the personal issues and diagnose them and then find the best possible way to treat and to resolve the issues, even if we have to use certain interventions. So part of let's say, the treatment of issues could be an intervention from one of the specialists that we have in our network, because we don't pretend as a coach that we can do it all ourselves. So we work with a network of very carefully selected specialists that can treat, really the deeper issues. But then, as the person develops, as the person resolves these issues, there's still the life that the person would like to live, maybe hasn't been able to live because of these personal issues. So we don't just treat the problem, we then also help the person to, now that let's say the resistance is less and the blockage is gone and the door is open, to start to integrate this new state of being in what now is possible for you. Then we also create a roadmap for that person and give the support and the practical tools to reflect on now what? Now that you're better, now that you're good, now what it is that you dream of and what is it that you want? And often because of these issues, people have not yet been able to live their life and reach the life quality or the professional success that they have wanted to reach. So then there has to be a kind of a moment of reflection and looking at every area of life. So we're talking about, yes, your lifestyle and how you maintain your health, or the relationship you have with yourself, spiritually even. Maybe new skills that you would like to learn. But we also look at friendships, how you function socially, relationship status, whether you're single or married. Because often when people have personal issues, this often reflects in their relationships, whether they're single or married, because often people live, single people are sometimes get quite isolated and they feel a bit stuck in that, or they lose some self-esteem because they've been alone too long. All the way to addressing all of these individual areas of life that we realize as areas that need certain attention and focus or modification or certain change. And then we identify what it is, put that in a plan, and move all the way towards what we say love life, which also includes love life, right? Relationships, but also to love life, meaning you live the life and the life quality that you desire, and your personal issues are not standing in the way of that anymore because we have resolved these issues. We have overcome these obstacles. All the way to professional success, where we take on the role of a corporate consultant, teaching topics such as corporate integrity, meaning that the results that you create or the service that you offer or the products that you develop or sell, that they don't leave some collateral damage, that is not like a shadow side. So not at the expense of, but in favor of. Mm-hmm. And so we try to also be kind of a source of inspiration for people who have already had success in their lives, but still feel inspired to take things to another level, which then takes us from love life to love life legacy.
I'm just wondering because, if you look at what other coaches specialize in, you often have relationship coaches, you have resilience coaches, you have corporate career coaches, you have a whole array of different specializations.
Yeah.
Integrated, you just explained, is integrating these different areas of life into one coaching methodology. I'm just curious how that plays out time-wise, because I'm sure you're covering a lot more topics and a lot more processes, but also integrated means that all those components are unified together in some harmonious way. And I'm just curious what the underlying principle is that would create that harmonious coming together of all these different parts of life that maybe by other coaches would be focused on individually. Like say with a career coach, it would be, the emphasis would be more specifically on career and maybe a little bit less, maybe not at all on spirituality. Maybe a little bit less on health. It would be kind of weighted differently. So I'm just curious, how you incorporate that all into one coaching track, because it's quite a lot of different areas of life to touch. And B, what is the unifying aspect that's underneath that can create that sense of integrating all these topics together?
Yeah. So I mean, first of all, we work with people individually. So let's just say you have one person and you have one person's life.
Yeah.
And so part of what we teach is that as a person, your happiness and your sense of well-being and your sense of fulfillment or level of success has something to do with all these different areas of life. So it's like, it's in a way, it sounds very complex, but it really isn't. Because if you take a little post-it note and you divide it in 9 boxes, most people have quite a hard time to say, okay, these are the 9 boxes in my life I need to pick, need to focus on, such as, okay, first 3 boxes maybe the relationship I have with myself, keep working on my issues to develop myself as a person, some self-healing, whatever, my health.
Mhm.
And then the third is maybe, to make sure that I'm financially secure. Then there's work, relationship, maybe friendship, social.
Mhm.
And with these 6 boxes covered in a satisfying way, you could say the person has already a very healthy foundation. If each of these boxes on the level that is necessary to feel good about it. So even on the level of health, sometimes people have not yet developed a lifestyle that allows them to tick that box on the level that they can feel, I'm super healthy, I'm fit, I have energy, I am motivated and focused.
Mhm.
So in most of these basic boxes is already quite a lot of work to do.
Mhm.
Then once the foundation is there, you could say now we can go for the next level, or what I sometimes refer to as the penthouse, an extra balcony on top,
Mhm.
where people say, okay, then if I have all that covered, I would like to have a certain amount of freedom to travel, or I dream to have a second home in Spain. And personally, I always leave one box open because I always like life to surprise me, right? But that's my personal 9 boxes. So maybe this helps you to understand that it's not that complex. I say if life is more complex than ticking a few boxes on a post-it note, then the complexity is a mental complexity that you add to something that actually can be structured, where you just can come up with a few positive actions in each box to move the whole life quality forward.
Mhm. Mhm.
And so the formula, of course, that's behind it, which is super crucial, is that how do I know for another person, how do we figure out that what that box should look like? Because maybe the health box for you, it looks like completely different than for me. Maybe you like to do some type of sports. I know you really like jiu-jitsu. Maybe for me, it used to be Kundalini yoga, and now I'm more into fitness and meditation, for example. But we do give a full layout where we follow the latest science on health and biohacking and longevity. And we say, look, here's a list of the latest understanding that we have about health. And we're constantly staying up to date as coaches with the latest of the latest and giving clients effortlessly access to the latest innovation and applying it in our own lives, testing it and sharing our experience and inviting them and inspiring them to see what they could take from this list and start to apply it, start to take steps that are within their reach. But every step that they take that they haven't done before will create a micro result. But when we do that in every single box, you see that over time, because our processes, like you said, they are not short. You cannot do all of this in a week or in a retreat format. So the minimum amount of time that we take for our clients is 3-4 months, up to 6 months, up to 1 or 2 years. because when clients start to, in the first 3 months, understand the formula and the method, and they have done their first round and they have seen how much result that they can create in every aspect of life moving forward, and the accumulative effect that that creates is a full-blown transition where not only the person but their partner or the people close to them reflect back like, whoa, this is really, I can see it. You look different, you talk different, you walk different, you are generating success. The first financial benefits you're drawing in with this new you could say. But okay, in the first 3 months, it's more or less going through all the basics, learning the theory, applying it for the first time to the major topics in your life, resolving the first issues, doing an intervention. But then the slogan that we often use to explain where a person is after, going for the first time through the valley and then climbing that first hill is, if after all that I can be here now, imagine where I could be tomorrow. And so if we do that first cycle in that very integrated way, well, that's what the client will experience. Not only having accomplished and overcome some of the major issues and made kind of be clear on in which life areas what needs to be done to improve and to create positive results, but they understand how the formula works, how they were able to apply it and continue to do so, but based on where they are now, which gives them a trust and opens the door to a vision of the future. And then often they look at me and they say, look, if I'm able to do this, if I would continue applying this formula, now this further vision starts to feel like a real possibility. And so now there's hope, and there's an integrated methodology that they have learned to work with. And of course, then we can again decide to accompany the client to reach, the next vision or the next set of goals. That can be a super cool ongoing process that is amazing for the client, of course, because just imagine what the client could do in 1 year or in 2 years. But for us as coaches, it's also amazing because we get to really be a part of a long-term change in every aspect of life. And that is also very fulfilling and very rewarding for the client, for the coach.
I'm wondering because, when you look at coaches that specialize in a certain life area, and in this approach, all life areas are touched.
Yeah.
You're kind of stepping out of a compartmentalized view of your life, being somewhat segregated, having kind of like work on this side, having relationships on that side, having your personal experience and your personal growth somewhere else. And there's kind of like a missed opportunity there because if you can raise the level of those different areas of your life, you can actually, if it's a more integrated approach, you have this power that you can unlock because there's a synergy between these different areas of life that are connected with one another. So they can also affect each other as well. So it's not just making progress and focusing on work life and making steps there. But when you look in the other direction to a different part of yourself, or you're in a different area of your own life at home with your family or in relationships or having fun with friends, that part is also benefiting from the coaching as well. So
yes, and all these individual, that's why the integrated approach cannot be seen separately from the formula, because what the formula says basically is, one, when you look at any area of your life, make sure that you look at it in a very authentic way. What is it that you would really like to see happen in that area? So make sure that whatever action or whatever vision you have, that it's fully in alignment with who you are, right? So that makes that approach very authentic, but also the understanding that all these different areas in life, they all contribute to each other. Because if you focus primarily at work and you're running after money, because you're compensating, because you still live in this internal lack, because you didn't have enough love in your childhood, then that becomes the loop and the rat wheel that you're in. So we ask our clients to kind of take a step back and to see the integrated vision, where if you tick the different boxes, all these boxes they're all part of the same system, right? One person, one life. And all of this is interconnected. So when you're healthy, you work better. When you work better, this is healthy and more satisfying. When you're more satisfied, you bring more happiness to your relationship. So maybe that's a third aspect that we need to look at when we talk about integration. That integration means like a body, right? You have different organs. If you overtax the liver, now the kidneys start to have to flush the liver, so they now need to start to overwork. So it is an integrated, we are integrated beings, we live an integrated life, and the formula gives you that ownership and that capacity to have an overview that is not complex, so that it is more like I said earlier, just ticking the most important boxes, and spend a little bit of time and effort every day on these most important boxes and build it from the ground up. And then 1,000 little steps create a huge leap in the end. And we don't want to stay too long in the complexity of having to, I have a relationship problem and now I need a therapist, and all my work, and I need a work coach, and these people don't know each other. Now, if you would have a multidisciplinary team, let's say 10 people, one specialist for every area of life, and they would, based on this formula, collaborate and be super synchronized and have kind of one unified understanding of this client and listen to each other, and then create a strategic plan for this client, that would be amazing, right? But how much would that cost? Is that realistic? As an individual client, are you able to find these 10 people that you now need to address every area of your life individually? How time consuming would that be? And this is presuming that they are already part of one system. So what we are trying to create is, when we do feel we need external specialists because we understand that we cannot maybe do it all alone, because we're not that superhuman beings, that we have psychology degree and we work with plant medicine, and I'm a relationship therapist. I mean, that's not what we expect of ourselves. But we understand the integratedness. And then when we do feel that we're not able as coaches to work specifically on that little area, then we have in our network a specialist that is fully in alignment with us, that has a similar overlapping vision of the client, a complementing vision of the client, and then works specifically on that one issue that the coach and the client knows this issue is now an obstacle for that. And it needs to be addressed separately, and we have the right person for that.
Yeah. Well, the interventions topic and working with specialists to go deeper in certain areas that need attention that the coach is not completely capable of dealing with effectively, or that effectively, I think is also an interesting topic for one of our future conversations. I think we're heading towards the end mark now, time-wise. So is there anything you want to add to what we've covered during this conversation, or should we?
Yeah, just maybe to repeat that sentence, which is also the slogan of Personal Evolution Agency. It is to teach people how to navigate their own personal and professional evolution. So I think that's because it seems that we are really offering a lot, but what we're really offering the client is a formula that they can learn to apply by themselves, understanding the importance of an integrated approach, where they stay out of the complexity and are quite quickly to address each area practically with results.
Mm-hmm.
But something that you can learn to do on your own. We're basically giving it to you, and then of course support you for as long as you feel that support is needed. And let's be honest, it is just nice to have someone by your side. It's a luxury. It's needed often. We all need to go towards better together.
Okay, so I think that's the topic. We've covered it, yeah, very much looking forward to our next conversations. Thank you, Siri, for taking the time to go over integration.